Kia ora guys and welcome back to the Black Juice, and my name is Max. Welcome back to the channel. I do have a bit of a cold, but we're going to do a Rugby World Cup Team of the Week. So a big thank you to my patrons before we get into today's video. This is of course for round one, so it's just based off the first weekend of this tournament. What an amazing opening weekend we had. This is of course just an opinion piece. I wasn't initially going to be making any videos of me just talking to the camera throughout the World Cup, but I've decided that, you know what, I'm just going to suck it up. I'm going to make as much content as I can to make you guys happy. And so yeah, we're going to do a team of the week every week of this World Cup up until around the playoffs start. It'll kind of get a bit narrower, get a bit harder to do that, but we'll try our best. So first off, we're going to head over to the loose head prop, and Pierre Schoeman was probably one of the key factors that Scotland were able to stay in charge during that first half, I guess. Scotland honestly had a game of two halves against the Springboks. In my video about it that's going to come out later, I'm going to show a lot of reasons why they really regressed in that first half, and you know what? Losing Pierre Schoeman was one of those key reasons. He won an absolutely massive scrum penalty for Scotland at the end of that first half, and he was a very good defender, 5 out of 6 tackles, just getting the job done, smashing out what he could on that facet of the game. Wasn't able to quite cross the gain line on his 4 carries, but he got it done, tried to get the front foot ball, did his very best in his 55 minutes, and when he came off, the ruck speed was poor, the scrum was poor, and Scotland were put to the sword. So I'm going to put Pierre Schoeman into my number 1 jersey there rather, because there weren't really any standouts, I guess, in this jersey. For hooker though, boy, there was a standout, except he was wearing jersey number 16, Piato Malvaka. Julian Marchand had to come off with a hamstring injury. Hopefully he's not going to miss the rest of the World Cup, but Piato Malvaka played out of his skin. His deceased father was apparently a huge All Blacks fan. I think that was the story behind it, but the last time Malvaka played the All Blacks, he was really fired up. At the time, he was France's 3rd choice hooker, had a huge 2-try performance, and he has backed it up again with another amazing performance against the All Blacks. 75 metres run, 2 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks, 3 carries. Imagine doing all that just touching the ball only 6 times. 12 out of 14 tackles, not too bad either. Well, he did keep the line out pretty fresh for the French as well, and 68 minutes on the bench. You really got to commend a guy for doing work like that. Winnie Antonio made a very similar impact for the French from the number 3 jersey. Look, Winnie Antonio is a player who you can't really sum up in stats, but his presence on the scrum is absolutely massive. It was a proper, tight contest in that first half between the French and the All Blacks, and the scrum was the huge difference, keeping things ticking over in the French favour, and with those 2 scrum penalties, taking down Ethan de Groot, one of the best loose-head props in the world. That was the 33-year-old veteran Winnie Antonio, all 146 kg of him, putting him to the sword. He was a massive help cleaning out those rucks as well, and of course the 2 out of 2 tackles, not too bad, got them all 100%, so that's all good. Over to the locks though, I'm going to give player of the week to Will Rowlands. Huge effort from this man in his 80 minutes, didn't really get to attack too much, but look at the defensive shift, got himself a line-out steal, and that's also not even included in his 4 turnovers won. 4 turnovers is huge. With that opening turnover of the game as well that he won, that was a massive statement that really got Wales the psychological advantage to get them a well-deserved win that I'm going to make a video about after this video you're watching right now, and 27 out of 27 tackles as well. Goodness me, that boy was on fire. The top tackler of the World Cup so far in such a physical game where Fiji have such natural attack. That was huge for Wales, and my watch agrees. Will Rowlands was outstanding. Of course, Amato Fakatava in the 5 jersey, he has to go there for Japan. He's only recently debuted for Japan, but he's getting himself quite a try-scoring record, the fellow who plays for the Rico Black Rams, Amato Fakatava. I wasn't sure if he was going to end up choosing Tonga, but he's chosen Japan, and he's been absolutely massive for Japan. 26 metres run, 2 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks as well off 6 carries. Not too bad. 16 out of 17 tackles and 2 turnovers. One heck of a performance on defence. And Pieter-Steph du Toit, very, very impactful for South Africa there rather as well. Du Toit was huge, And just like in 2019 when he got his 50th Test cap, he opened South Africa's first Rugby World Cup game with a try. Good stuff from Pieter-Steph du Toit. Full 80 for him as well, no surprises there. The stats may not show his contributions, but the defensive barrier he provided was really good for South Africa. Pieter-Steph du Toit, what a player. Number 7, Peter O'Mahony, another real standout, getting himself 2 tries for Ireland. O'Mahony, I'm pretty sure, will be retiring soon. He'll be calling his exit from Test rugby, so it's been amazing to see him just get the last few things out of his system, enjoy the rest of his career, and you really saw it with his passing and his offloading. What a spectacle that was against the Romanians. And of course, 7 out of 7 tackles. Ireland had a lot of possession, but he still got the hard yakka done on defence. Number 8, Gregory Aldred, well and truly player of the match against the All Blacks for very good reasons. 71 metres, 2 defenders beaten, 11 carries, 12 passes, so more passes than he made carries at number 8, 3 offloads as well, just a single missed tackle, 2 turnovers. The stats speak for themselves. I don't have to explain anything about Gregory Aldred. He is something that the All Blacks are really missing right now, a hard grafting number 8, and that's the problem when we have 2 open side flankers in the starting lineup. We'll have an ad break, then we'll get on to the backs, everybody. In at 9, I didn't really feel there was a true standout either, so I'm going to go for Faf de Klerk because the pressure he applies to Jack Dempsey, to Ben White and to Ali Price throughout that match, it was huge, and Scotland just couldn't generate anything from set piece because de Klerk was just up in their face. He really enjoyed the celebration of his 50th Test match. That is for sure not a really great statistical performance, but he got himself a nice conversion in the end and walked away with 59 passes, delivering some pretty crisp service, so not one of the statistical all-round performances, but we do get one of those from George Ford, who I've picked as the 10, the leading point scorer of the World Cup so far. He got all 27 of England's points. I've not rated George Ford across time. I've always felt he needs to go, but man, he finally showed up to play a proper Test match, show some proper seniority, and England was so much better with Ford finally just translating that club level form he's been capable of for so long to international level, but without Owen Farrell pulling all the strings. 6 out of 6 penalty goals, 3 drop goals, and I've got a video about his drop goal masterclass for you to watch as well after this one, if my Wales versus Fiji one isn't out when the time you're watching this is. 6 out of 7 tackles and 1 turnover as well. George Ford masterclass, absolutely epic from him. Mark Talia in his 71 minutes. Why on earth did the All Blacks take him off? If there was going to be a guy to spark something at the end, get a last minute comeback, Mark Talia was going to be the guy. He may not be Fijian, but with that Samoan South African blood, he was always going to have a huge impact. The fastest try of a World Cup opener in history was included as 2 tries, which were very good. My watch agrees once again. 114 metres to his name as well. 11 defenders beaten, 3 clean breaks, 14 carries, 1 pass and just 1 missed tackle. Mark Talia went to work in every facet of the game and well and truly would have deserved man of the match had Gregory Aldred not been outstanding himself. Anyway, Talia was my only New Zealander for this video, but actually he's not, because Bundy Aki well and truly was robbed of an All Black cap, and he has had a massive career with Ireland because Steve Hansen didn't pay him enough attention. Bundy Aki is going to go down as one of Ireland's greatest ever midfielders, and with 190 whopping metres to his name this weekend, he has so far ran the most metres of anyone in the World Cup, got himself 2 tries, couldn't quite get the hat-trick, but with 12 passes and 3 offloads, it's pretty close to his rate of 19 carries. He also leads the World Cup tally for clean breaks with 5. He also beat 8 defenders in just a romping performance over the poor Romanians. I felt so bad for them just trying to tackle Bundy Aki. 2 out of 3 tackles is, I guess, a bit of just a thing with the possession, and with 3 turnovers, 1 as well. The boy went to work on defence. So did George North of Wales, who I've picked as my number 13. North has now got himself 48 Test tries, and he is at his 4th World Cup right now. Wales really needed his seniority. He showed far more of that than Dan Biggar as far as I'm concerned. He was the dominant leader of that back line for sure. North also managed to run 45 metres and beat 5 defenders, which is no easy feat considering the Welsh were playing against Fiji in a very tight encounter, one of the greatest pull games we've ever seen. 2 clean breaks off 4 carries as well. not too bad to get a clean break every second carry at all. 8 passes as well, really shifting the ball out wide to challenge Fiji at what they did best. The defense, of course, 7 out of 7 tackles, 1 turnover. You got to have a number 13 in Team of the Week if they're putting up numbers like those. And you saw those numbers translate into assistance for Wales on that attack and on that defence. Damien Penaud got his 30th test try for France as well in just 45 tests, so I was never going to miss an opportunity to put the best player in the world in my Team of the Week. Some people say it's Dupont, some people say it's Van der Fleer, but Damien Penaud is a true all-rounder, a rare beauty that you can't really find in rugby these days. He got France's first try of the tournament as well, and to go with that first try, he did get a fair few meters under his belt as well. Also beat 6 defenders, 2 clean breaks off just 6 carries. The guy's unstoppable, beating as many defenders as he made carries. Like, that's just freakish. Showing off his passing ability as well for 3 passes and 2 offloads. Defense was a little bit dodgy, but as he was jumping up a bit to be a speed bump though, I don't think we can take that into account too much. With 4 turnovers won as well, just an incredible amount of turnovers for a winger. I don't think we can judge him for the tackle ratio at all. At least he was making a high number, so that's okay. It can be forgiven, because with 4 turnovers as a winger, like, it's unreal. I don't have words for it. Let's move over to Ben Donaldson, who may not have had really much involvement on defence at all, but a few people have said he could well and truly be Aussie's, best player at this World Cup. Crazy to think, considering it's just his 3rd test match and his first actually under Eddie Jones. Dave Rennie was constantly chopping and changing the fullback. He had no idea who the heck he was picking. Tom Banks, Tom Wright, Andrew Callaway, Jordan Petaia. He tried pretty much everybody there and could not settle on anybody without Israel Folau present. Since he's a new game managing 10 and his goal kicking is not 100%, Carter Gordon's the kind of guy who would thrive well in a 10-15 axis, so we can call the shots, have a big centre outside him, but also have that extra playmaker to help him out. And Ben Donaldson is the perfect mould for this. He's the only Aussie, I've got in this Team of the Week, but boy did he make a huge impact for them. In his 25 points, he got 2 tries, 3 out of 4 conversions, and 3 out of 3 penalties, and he just went for it on attack. 117 metres, 3 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks, 9 carries, and more passes than he made carries, with 10 in total. Ben Donaldson was an absolute weapon for the Wallabies, and that's going to be it for my Team of the Week video over here. Remember to subscribe to me and like this video if you enjoyed this one. I will try to make as many videos as I can throughout this Rugby World Cup, so yeah, support me over on Instagram and over on Threads as well to see bonus content from me. You can also consider becoming one of my very loyal, awesome people who are on Patreon if you can afford it as well. Thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. God bless and enjoy the rest of the Rugby World Cup. Cheers from Max, and I'll see you for round 2's Team of the Week.